Lionel Messi isn't the loudest man in that Argentina dressing room. He doesn't give fiery speeches before a final. He rarely raises his voice, even after a loss that would break most captains. And yet, watch what happens the moment Argentina steps onto the pitch. Every player around him looks ready to fight for him, not for the badge, for him. Why do World Cup champions, national captains, and 20-year-old rising stars all treat one man differently than every other teammate they've ever had? It's not the 8 Ballon d'Ors. It's not the assists or the free kicks. The real reason has almost nothing to do with what Messi does with a football. People forget this part. Argentina didn't always feel this way about Messi. For years, he played in the shadow of a ghost. Diego Maradona had already given the country a World Cup by himself in 1986, and every time Messi touched the ball for the national team, someone measured him against that memory. Nobody wins that comparison, no matter how good they are. Then came the losses. In 2014, the World Cup final against Germany ended in extra time with nothing to show for it. In 2015, the Copa America final ended on penalties. In 2016, the same final against the same opponent ended the exact same way. 3 finals, 3 times walking off the pitch with nothing. After that third loss, Messi shocked the entire country and announced his retirement from the national team. At the age most players are entering their prime, a specific kind of criticism followed him through all of it, and only him. People said he wasn't one of them. He'd left for Barcelona as a child, grown up in Spain, and built his entire game somewhere else, and some pointed to that as the reason he couldn't do it in an Argentina shirt. This wasn't love at first sight. Argentina doubted him. At times, Argentina resented him. That's why what happened next means so much more. Some captains lead with volume. They shout in the tunnel, call players out in press conferences, and make sure everyone knows who's in charge. Messi has never led that way, not once in a career that's lasted this long. Quiet in interviews, he rarely raises his voice on the pitch, including in matches where Argentina is falling apart in real time. When a teammate misses a chance he could have scored himself, he doesn't say a word to the cameras about it. Watch what he does after a loss, though. Messi stands in front of the media and takes the weight of it himself, not the young winger who missed an open net, not the defender who was slow to track back. That's the part that changes everything inside a dressing room. When the best player in the world could point fingers and doesn't, when he could demand the spotlight and instead pushes it toward everyone else, the room organizes itself around him without him ever asking for it. Nobody told him to lead. He made it obvious why they'd want to follow. This is where the story shifts from respect into something closer to devotion. Messi scored that solo goal against Getafe in 2007, the one people call the greatest individual goal in the sport's history. When Julian Álvarez was 7, Álvarez grew up in a small town in Córdoba with roughly 1,500 people in it, and he watched that goal on a small television more times than he'd ever admit on camera. Enzo Fernández watched Messi walk off that World Cup final, defeated in 2014 as a young teenager. A few years later, Enzo scored his own first international goal from a Messi assist on a World Cup stage. Alexis Mac Allister, Christian Romero, Nahuel Molina, Rodrigo De Paul. Every one of them grew up in a country where Messi was more than a good player on television. He was the standard, the dream, the poster on the wall. Think about what it means to walk into a dressing room for the first time and sit down next to that poster, not a photo of him eating at the same table, getting changed 2 lockers down, passing you the ball in training like it's nothing. That's not a normal teammate relationship. It's a childhood promise kept in real life. If you want to see what that devotion looks like in real time, watch Rodrigo De Paul during a match. During the 2022 World Cup quarterfinal against the Netherlands, the game turned physical late, with players from both sides squaring up. In the middle of it, Virgil van Dijk, the Netherlands captain and opponent, walked over and put a hand on Messi's shoulder, not to argue with him, but to protect him from his own teammates' aggression. If a rival captain does that in the middle of a World Cup quarterfinal, think about what De Paul does every single match on Messi's own side. De Paul stays close to him. When an opponent gets too physical or tempers rise, De Paul gets there first, chest out, standing between Messi and whatever's coming. Fans started calling him Messi's bodyguard for a reason, and De Paul doesn't hide it in interviews either. He's talked about what it feels like to share a pitch with Messi, the way his voice changes when the subject comes up like he can't believe it's real. This isn't a captain protecting a teammate, it's someone protecting the person who shaped who he became. Everything before Qatar built toward one moment. By 2022, Messi had stopped chasing personal records. He carried a team that had quietly decided the tournament belonged to him and only him. Emiliano Martinez said it plainly before the tournament started. He skipped getting Messi a birthday gift that year because the only gift he wanted to give him was the World Cup itself. Angel Di Maria, Rodrigo De Paul, and Julian Álvarez all spoke about the same thing in different words. This wasn't about Argentina proving they could win. It was about making sure Messi didn't finish his career with that one trophy still missing when the final whistle blew in Lusail. That's what you saw. Players sprinting toward him before they celebrated with each other. Teammates lifting him onto their shoulders. Grown men in tears refusing to let go. This didn't look like a team celebrating a trophy. It looked like a team putting something right. That brings the story to today. Messi is older. He doesn't press the way he used to. There are stretches of matches where he conserves his energy and walks when he once would have sprinted because his body doesn't have the same engine it did a decade ago. Watch his teammates and you'll see them running harder for him, not less. Romero throws himself into tackles he doesn't need to make. De Paul covers ground behind him without being asked. Alvarez chases lost causes to buy Messi an extra second on the ball. Everyone in that dressing room understands something unspoken. This is likely his last World Cup, and whatever chances remain to win something while he plays are slipping away in real time. Every match carries a weight that has nothing to do with the scoreline. It's not about 3 points anymore. It's about protecting the ending of a story they've been part of since they were kids watching it happen on television. This is the answer to the question I open with. It's not because Messi is the captain. Plenty of captains never get this kind of devotion. It's not because he's the best player on the planet either. Great players get admired all the time without ever getting this. He earned it slowly over almost 2 decades in front of a country that didn't always make it easy for him. He stayed loyal to that shirt after 3 heartbreaking losses that would have made most players walk away for good. Publicly, he never blamed a teammate for a defeat, not once. Criticism followed him for years. Plenty of it unfair, and he kept showing up anyway. When he finally got the chance to deliver the one thing Argentina wanted most, he made sure the credit went to everyone standing next to him. That's not admiration. Admiration is easy. What Messi built is trust, and trust like that doesn't come from talent. It comes from 20 years of choosing the team over and over, even when the team hadn't fully chosen him back. One day, Messi will retire. Argentina will find another captain. Another number 10 will wear that shirt and try to make it his own. Another generation of kids will grow up idolizing someone new. But I don't think Argentina will find another player who united a nation the way Messi did. Not because of what he won, because of everything he carried to get there. That's the real answer. Every player who's ever stepped onto that pitch beside him doesn't only play alongside Lionel Messi. They play for him